Okay, this is the title of this video. Okay, 7.4D mini assessment 1. Okay, you can see it there on the channel. Okay, so a customer bought 8.5 pounds of apples at the local produce market. How many ounces of apples did the customer buy? So ounces and pounds. Well, you need to know that there's in 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. Okay? So 1 pound is equal to ounces. You bought this many pounds. How many ounces of apples did the customer buy? Well, 1 pound is 16 ounces. That means if I do this by addition, 2 pounds would be 32 ounces. And 3 pounds would mean 48 ounces. Well, all I'm doing is adding 16 every single time. But instead of adding, we can also multiply. I can multiply, okay, what 1 pound equals 16 times the number of pounds I'm purchasing. Well, I'm going to purchase 8.5. And so 16 times 8.5, 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 1 plus 3 is 8. The 0. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. So I get 8, 16, carry 1,360, but there's one number to the right. And so I see that my answer is 136 ounces. And 2 there. A certain brand of hand lotion costs $3 for 16 ounces. Okay. That was last week. This week, the hand lotion is on sale for $2.40 for a 16-ounce bottle. So the question is, what's the percent decrease? So what is the percent decrease? Okay, and so when I know that they want a percent decrease or increase, I know I'm going to use the percent of change. And so that means I'm going to have the change over the original. Okay. Change over original. And so now I'm going to see, okay, the change is how much did we change? In other words, how much did the price go down? It was at $3 and it went down to $2.40. So that's the change. Okay, how much did the price change? Well, we would have to subtract $3 minus $2.40, which would give me, if I regroup here, it would give me 60 cents. Okay, and so that's my change. So my change is going to be here, 0.60. What's my original? Well, what was the original price? Was it $2.40 or $3? And way you can distinguish between the two is look at what it says there. It says last week it cost this, and now it says there this week. So the original has to happen first, and so last week happened before this week, so the original should be $3. Okay, I can cancel a 0 here, and then I have 0.6 divided by 3.0. Okay, if you don't see the answer, use TiVo, top in, bottom out. You know, maybe that'll help you see the answer, and hopefully you can finish the problem. Number 3, last week Trent made 80 on his quiz. This week he made a 90. What is the percent of increase? Again, the keyword percent of increase, percent of decrease. So we have change over original. We have the equation change over original. Okay, and so think there again, what's the original? Well, look at the word here, last week, and then we have this week. So obviously last week happened first. So last week he made an 80, that's my original. What's my change? Well, the change is not 90. The change wasn't 90. The change is how much did we go up from 80 to 90. Okay, so we went up 10 because 90 minus 80 is 10, and that's my change. And so now I know I can cross out zeros here, and I can use table, top in, bottom out. Okay, and I just gotta solve the problem. Number 4, a florist received a shipment of 16 dozen roses. The original order, oh here, look, there word. Original order was 20. Okay. What percent of the order did not arrive? So it's a percent of change. So it's a percent of change, which means we have change over original. Okay. So what's the change? Well, what's the original? It even has the word original. Look, the original. So the original is 20. What's the change? Well, the change wasn't 16. The change is, what was the order? The order, they received 16, but they were supposed to get 20. That means that they didn't get the difference. That means that the difference is my change. So my change was 4. And then I'll use T-bar. Top in, bottom out. Number 5. A piece of furniture has a retail price of $3,200 and is on sale for a 30% discount. How much money will be saved if the piece of furniture is purchased at the sale price? So we want to know how much money is saved. We don't want to know the sale price. It could have said how much. What is the sale price? No, we don't want to know the sale price. It's asking how much money will be saved. So first of all, if you have a 30% discount, the first thing you do is you gotta convert that discount to a decimal. The percent, sorry, convert the percent to a decimal. 2. So it's 0.30 or 0.3. And then we're gonna multiply it times the retail price. And which is the retail price, which is this. So we're gonna multiply 3,200 times 0.3. And so I multiply that, and I'm going to get 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. There's one number to the right of the decimal, and this is the money I'm going to save. That's not what I'm going to pay, okay? That's not what I'm going to, it asks for how much it will be saved, and so that's my answer. If it would have asked for how much would be the sale price, if it was the sale price, then I would have to subtract this minus this. But it doesn't want the sale price. It just wants to know how much will be saved. And they're going to save $960. Okay. Number 6. The population of a city in the Dallas went from 35,000 to 87,500 in 12 years. What was the percent of increase? You see that keyword percent of increase? That means we have a percent of change. And we're going to do change over original. Okay. Change over original. And so then I get there and I say, okay, what's the original? Or what's the change? Whichever one you want to do first. I'm going to do what's the original? Well, it went from to. So my original is from, well, 35,000 residents. And now what's the change? Well, how much did it go up? It didn't go up 37,500. It went up to that, but we want to know how much did it go up. And so you would have to find the difference. You would have to subtract. And that would give me 52,500. That is my change. Okay, and then I'm going to do is cut some zeros off. Okay, and that's going to give me 525 divided by 350. Okay, I can simplify this by 5. Or I can simplify it by 25. And so think there, I always tell students to think about money. Well, how many quarters fit into $5.25? There's 4 quarters in $1. So 4 quarters in $1, how many are in $5.25? And $5 there's 4 quarters in each dollar. That's 5 times 4 is 20, plus that extra quarter is 21. How many quarters in $3.50? Well, in $1 there's 4 quarters. In another dollar there's another 4 quarters. In another dollar there's another 4 quarters. That's 4, 8, 12 in $3. Plus the 2 quarters and 50 cents, that's 14. And then I can simplify this by 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 14 divided by 7 is 2. I can convert this guy to a mixed number. 2 goes into 3, 1. There's 1 left. This is 1.5. And then I just got to move the decimal 2 times to make this a percent. 1, 2. And I have my answer. Number 7 there. A market buys watermelon for $1.25. Okay. They want to make a 20% profit, and so the word there, profit, that means they want to make money. So what would they charge for the watermelons? Well, the first thing you would do is convert this guy to a percent, to a decimal. So 1, 2, and so 1.25 times 0.2. That'll give me 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 4 plus 1 is 5. 2. 3 numbers to write a decimal. 1, 2, 3. And so that means that that's the 25 cents. That's the profit. So that means if I buy if I buy the watermelon at $1.25, $1.25, for me to make a 20-cent profit, which means I want to make a quarter profit, I have to sell it for at least $1.50 because I want to make a quarter. If it costs me $1.25 and I want to make 20% profit, which is 25 cents, I must add the $1.25 what I paid for it. I want to make 20% profit, which is a quarter, so I'm going to sell it for an extra quarter for $1.50 so I can make 25 cents. And so that's the answer right there. And so I would have to sell it for at least $1.50. A graphing calculator costs $85. The sales tax on the calculator is 8%. Sales tax. What is the total cost? Okay, so total means that. I also know sales tax means an addition to a cost. And so it cost me $85. Well, what's 8% as a decimal? Well, you move it 2 times 1, 2. And so you get 0.08. And so what's $85 times this in decimal times 0.08? Okay. And so all you do is multiply it. And so I'm going to multiply 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 8 is 64 plus 4 is 68. Okay. How many numbers to write a decimal? 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's how much tax I'm going to pay. Okay, we already said tax is an addition. So I'm going to add this tax to the cost of the calculator. So $85, I'm going to line up my decimals, plus $6.80. As you can see, I didn't put the 85 over here because it's $85, not 85 cents. And then I'm going to add this, and I get $91.80. And that's how much the calculator will cost. Okay. The ratio, this keyword here, ratio, it just means a word for fraction. Okay, a fraction. So we have marbles, we have red to blue, that's the way to write a ratio. So I can write red to blue. I can write red colon blue, or I can write red over blue. 3 ways to write the ratio. So my ratio is 3 to 2, or I can write it like this. I can write it like this, or I can write 3 to 2. Okay, if there are 18 marbles in the bag, 18 red marbles in the bag, how many blue marbles are in the bag? Well, 18 red marbles, so then I can set up a proportion. I know my reds are on the top because that's what it started with. Look, red to blue. So red to blue, red to blue. And so we have red to blue. And so that means 18 is going to go here because red has to be on top. And we put an X. And then all you do is cross multiply and divide. And you get your answer. Number 10, Jim invested $6,000 at 4% simple interest. How much interest will be earned the first year? Okay, so this is in years. Interest is a percent, and the word invested gives me what the principal is. You're going to use this equation. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Okay, this is the principal because it says invested, charged, or deposited, so I use invested. So I'm going to put here 6,000 times, I'm going to convert this percent to a decimal. So 4% to decimal, 12.04. And then I'm going to use time is in years, T for time, but expressed in years. They said first year, so 1 year. And then I just multiply it and I get my simple interest. So whatever you get, that is your answer. Okay, and hopefully you can finish this. Bye-bye.